In this video, we're talking about how to get better at anything you do. Hey, guys, welcome to this week's video, and we are talking about how to get better at anything you do. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete, it doesn't matter if you are playing the piano, if you want to get better at fitness, if you want to get better at school, if you want to get better at relationships, if you want to get better at being a leader, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about 6 principles on how to get better in anything you do. How do you improve? It's a very difficult process, and let me give you some principles to help you along the way. But first, before we get going, I always say this: hit like, hit subscribe. We want you to join us every single week, and hit that bell so you know when the next video comes out. So let's get into it. 6 principles on how to get better at whatever you do. Principle number 1, commit. When you're laser focused, you take the guesswork out. You no longer wonder if you're gonna work hard or not. You no longer wonder if you're going to eat healthy or not, if you're going to practice or not, if you're going to train or not, because you do what's required. The late Trevor Moawad, who wrote a book, an amazing book, and one of my good friends, he says, it takes what it takes. If you want to be successful, you need to remember that it takes what it takes. You do what's required, not because you feel like it or not because someone's telling you to do it, but because it's required to get to the level you want to be at. Too many times people sit and they take too much counsel from their feelings. If you want to get better at what you do, commit, regardless of how you feel. Principle number 2, practice noticing. Notice your thoughts. Notice your breath. Notice the results you're getting. Notice how stress affects you. Notice how other people affect you. Notice your environment. Notice your good habits. Notice your bad habits. Notice your default setting. How are you always responding to certain things? Pay very close attention, because you can't change what you're not aware of. And if you want to make these changes that are needed to becoming the best version of yourself, to get better at something, you need to notice. You need to notice how these things are affecting you. Notice when you're making steps in the right direction, even though the results might not be there. Notice when you're heading in the wrong direction, even though the results might be there. Pay attention to your process. Pay attention when things need to change. Pay attention to when you need to let go and when you need to hold on. Pay attention to when you need to speed up, and pay attention when you need to slow down. You're going to be able to help yourself progress to the degree in which you get better at noticing those subtle little changes and then making the adjustments necessary. Principle number 3 is to find a way. You can't underestimate your ability to figure things out. Yes, you might need a little bit of guidance. You might need a little bit of mentorship along the way. However, don't rely so much on people to tell you what you need to do. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need permission to be the best version of yourself. You're going to struggle, you're going to fail, and as you continue to produce and get a little bit better every single day, you're going to find the missing piece to the puzzle, and more importantly, your puzzle. So fail, struggle, adjust, adapt, and enjoy along the way. Enjoy the process along the way. That's going to be one of the keys in order to getting better at whatever you do. Once again, go in there, go into the arena, and get messy. You don't need permission from people. No one's going to deem you worthy to try, to give your best, to go out there. Just go out there and you do it. And it's gonna be messy. You're gonna get bloody. You're gonna get knocked down. You're going to get beat up. Then you get up and pay no attention to people in the arena who are sitting in the stands. They're going to give you advice and tell you what you need to do, what you have to do, what you're doing wrong. Don't pay attention to them, especially if they're not in the arena with you. Once again, keep learning and know that you can figure things out. And sometimes figuring things out is going to require figuring it out the hard way, through losing. Pay attention to those lessons. Principle number 4 is very similar to that. It's about getting better, not looking good. So many people are afraid to get better because they are afraid to look bad. They're afraid to look embarrassed. They're afraid to fail in front of people. If you want to get better at what you do, you need to get outside of your comfort zone. And getting outside your comfort zone requires making mistakes. But remember that making new mistakes is making progress in disguise. If you want to expand your comfort zone, you need to get out of your comfort zone, because that's where the lessons are. And don't let your fear of embarrassment, your fear of what other people think, get in the way of learning lessons that these mistakes provide. So many people don't want to grow because they care too much about looking good. They care too much about what other people think about them. Don't let that be you. If you want to get better, failure is required. Mistakes are required because you're getting outside of your comfort zone. So remember that. The next time you're worried about looking good, remember, you know what? It's not about looking good. It's about getting better. Principle number 5 is remember addition by subtraction. Before you add another tool, before you add another step, before you add another method, before you read another book, ask yourself, what do I need to stop doing? Sometimes taking something out of your routine, taking a mindset out of your approach is going to help you be more efficient. It's going to eliminate friction and just help you be better, more effective overall. And so once again, before you look for optimizing something, look at what you can take out, what you can subtract. It could be something in your environment. It could be asking advice from a certain person. It could be a number of different things, a certain habit, a certain way you respond, a default behavior that you have that, once again, going back to number 2, that you hadn't noticed before. Pay attention to the power of addition by subtraction. Principle number 6, do what you do on purpose with purpose. Don't just work hard on the right things. There's a difference between activity and productivity. Just because you're doing a lot of movement, that doesn't necessarily mean you're moving the needle to getting better. Identify the things that you need to work on and let go of everything else. And remember, there are some things that are going to change as you continue to evolve. The things that are quote unquote important now might not be important later on in your development. Things that are quote unquote not important now might be important later on in your development. So remember, more is not better, better is better. And identify what are those things that you need to be focused on right now. So there you have it, the 6 principles that help you get better at anything you do. Write in the comment section, let me know which one of these 6 was a great reminder for you, which one of these 6 really resonated with you. Please come back next week. Join me. I love to hear you guys sharing these. I love to hear your comments. I love to get to know you. Join me on social media at Justin Sua on Instagram and on Twitter. Let's stay connected, and we'll do this again next week.